The Redeemer. His very name was that, Redeemer. The name Jesus means Yahweh saves. That was what heaven intimated Joseph before he was born. He will save his people from their sins. From birth to death, whatever he said and did was with the sole intention to save the people from their sin, to raise them up from their fall, to serve them, to heal them, make them alive, and thus redeem them. He accomplished this by his service, ministry of the word, passion, and death. As he said in the parable of the prodigal son, "The son of mine was dead, but now living." To make the dead living, that was the heart of his ministry. To heal the sick, forgive the sinner, satisfy the hunger, give sight to the blind, give freedom to the oppressed, give good news to the poor. These are all the ministry of the Redeemer. And the people experienced all these when he did his redemptive ministry among them. His ministry was showcased in the parable of the Good Samaritan to help the wounded, raise up the fallen, and empowered to embark on his journey to reach his destination. But as he said to his tempter, "It is not by bread alone that man's need is fulfilled, hunger satisfied, but by every word that falls from the mouth of God." For that he brought into this world the revolution of the word. For the human hearts in bondage are liberated through the wisdom of the word. As he said to the people who sought him after multiplying the loaves, "Do not work for the bread that perishes, but for the bread that endures for eternal life." The redemption that he gives us is not temporary, but that takes us to eternity. The highest price he paid for the redemption of humanity was his passion and death. Inner conflict that made him sweat blood. The torture he suffered that made his body a large single wound. All support withdrawn, forsaken by all, even by his own Father, lying suspended between heaven and earth. He prayed and cried for us. His death was with a loud cry, expressing his anxious for being abandoned by the Father, and then getting a grip on the providence of his loving Father, he gently closed his eyes, uttering, "It is accomplished." His cry went down to the abyss of the world that reverberated beyond the frontiers of the horizon. Nature was trampled by its repercussion. Then the glorious resurrection, with the light that surpassed the brightness of lightning and beamed through the tomb, and the assurance he gave that he will live with us till the end of the world by sharing his body and blood with us. These are all what he did to fulfill and accomplish our salvation. He is the only one in heaven and on earth having the salvic name, Jesus, the Redeemer.